Well, that was not the game one between the Tampa Bay Lightning and Florida Panthers we were expecting inside AMALIE Arena. The Bolts just absolutely dominated by the Panthers, losing 6-2 on home ice. The Panthers lead the series 1-0, and the return of Matthew Tkachuk was very notable as he scored 2 goals in the contest. The good part about this analysis is that you can throw a lot of this game in the trash for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but let me quickly dissect it from this point. In the first period, the Panthers made it very clear that they wanted to be the more physical team in this contest. And while they were certainly bullying the Bolts in that first period, the play was even. And I think that the Bolts actually, maybe in some respects, were the better team in that first period. But 2 grimy goals by Florida, one a beautiful Sam Bennett goal where he made like a Major League Baseball player, and then the other in the final minute, a tip puck right in front of Vasi. So you play well, maybe a little timid, but you play well in that first period, and you enter the locker room trailing 2-1. That was a little bit of a deflating feeling, but it really turned south there when the Bolts gave up that third goal. Andrei Vasilevskiy simply was not good enough tonight. There were some things around him that didn't help him out, but that third goal where he didn't squeeze the puck, that's on him in my opinion. And then Coop challenges the call for the 92nd time. It feels like the team does not win a goalie interference challenge against the Panthers in the playoffs. 14 seconds later, Tkachuk scores, and all of a sudden you have a watershed moment in this game, and the Bolts were not going to come back from a 4-1 deficit. It becomes 5-1. They score a goal, and away we go. But, you look at the hits, 48 hits from the Panthers, 28 from the Bolts. Block shots, 18 from the Panthers, 8 from the Bolts. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it was as ugly as we all think, because the Bolts also went 0 for 3 on the penalty kill. But you got to wake up and know this is playoff hockey. I think that's the number one thing. Play your game. You don't have to do anything that is going to take you away from that. But you got to be more physical. You simply have to be more physical. You got to get in front of more pucks. This is not the regular season anymore. So I think this was a wake-up call for everyone in that locker room. Like, hey, hello. Playoffs have started. You don't get many more opportunities against a team like this. All right, you can't just be throwing away games. And that's what Tampa Bay did in this contest. So that's unfortunate. Do I expect the Bolts to get rolled in Game 2? I do not. I expect them to play a lot better. I certainly expect better from Vasi. I expect better from the PK. It is concerning that Erik Cernak had to leave the game and come back. It's very concerning that Anthony Cirelli only played 6+ minutes. The team is already down Oliver Bjorkstrand. Cirelli does so much defensively speaking. He's part of that great, we'll call it a checking line with Hagel and Gensel of what Cooper wanted to do to start this series. And if they don't have Cirelli, we don't know what this is, but if this is a long-term issue, the Bolts will be in trouble. The reason why they acquired Bjorkstrand and Gourde at the trade deadline is because the 5-on-5 offense was not good enough. And if you lose Bjorkstrand and Cirelli for any part of this series, well, now you have 5-on-5 offensive issues against one of the best defensive teams in the league, the reigning Stanley Cup champions. They're deeper than you on paper now, and a whole host of issues start happening. So that matchup at 6:30, Game 2, will be a biggie. But you got to look at what happened to Ottawa in Game 2 against Toronto. Even though they were on the road, they got pulverized in Game 1, had a much better effort in Game 2, but ended up losing in overtime, and all of a sudden you're down 2-0. You cannot be down 2-0 heading to Sunrise. If it's 1-1, you can start swinging momentum back and playing the seesaw battle. But Game 2 better feel like it is the season on the line for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they're a prideful bunch. I expect them to come out with a very quick start, but yeah, there's nothing more to really analyze with this game. They got beat in many facets, and it was arguably one of the worst games of the season from this team, certainly the worst home effort from this team. So don't panic just quite yet. Allow this team to recover. And I go back to Game 1 a couple of seasons ago in Toronto. The Bolts beat Toronto 7-3. It looked like, oh boy, here we go. They're going to steamroll over the Maple Leafs. They're going to choke it away as usual. And the Bolts end up winning one more game that series. They lose in 6. So anything can happen. Momentum swings are very short-lived. And teams that have it want to cling on to it, and teams that don't can easily turn in their favor. But certainly game 1, not a good enough effort. John Cooper, 11-16 all-time now in game 1s. But he is a very good game 2 coach, and they better bring it on Thursday night.